Question 1. What year was the Battle of Bosworth? A. 1485, B. 1535, C. 1420, D. 1565. Answer: A. 1485. The Battle of Bosworth took place in 1485, marking a significant event in the Wars of the Roses, leading to the end of the Plantagenet dynasty and the rise of the Tudors. Question 2. Name the Prime Minister who served during the peak of the British Empire. A. Winston Churchill, B. Benjamin Disraeli, C. William Gladstone, D. Robert Peel. Answer: B. Benjamin Disraeli. Benjamin Disraeli served as Prime Minister during the peak of the British Empire, notably during Queen Victoria's reign, and was instrumental in expanding and securing the empire. Question 3. Which documents established the constitutional monarchy in England? A. The Magna Carta, B. The Bill of Rights, C. Both A and B, D. The Act of Settlement. Answer: C. Both A and B. The Magna Carta and the Bill of Rights were crucial in establishing the constitutional monarchy in England by limiting the powers of the king and setting out the rights of Parliament. Question 4. What is the main role of the Secretary of State for Defence? A. Managing the economy, B. Overseeing foreign relations, C. Leading the armed forces, D. Handling internal security. Answer: C. Leading the armed forces. The main role of the Secretary of State for Defence is to be responsible for all matters concerning the nation's defence and the armed forces. Question 5. What was the Great Reform Act of 1832 about? A. Expanding the electorate, B. Abolishing slavery, C. Establishing workers' rights, D. Reforming education. Answer: A. Expanding the electorate. The Great Reform Act of 1832 was primarily about expanding the electorate, making the voting system more representative by redistributing seats to new industrial towns and extending the franchise. Question 6. Who was the UK's first female Secretary of State? A. Margaret Thatcher, B. Barbara Castle, C. Theresa May, D. Betty Boothroyd. Answer: B. Barbara Castle. Barbara Castle was the first female Secretary of State in the UK, known for her tenure as Secretary of State for Employment and Productivity and introducing significant labour reforms. Question 7. What is the purpose of the Welsh Assembly? A. Managing Welsh education, B. Overseeing regional security, C. Devolved governance for Wales, D. Handling economic policies. Answer: C. Devolved governance for Wales. The Welsh Assembly, now known as the Senedd, is responsible for devolved governance in Wales, managing areas like health, education, and local government. Question 8. What is the significance of the Glorious Revolution? A. It introduced democracy to England. B. It resulted in the establishment of parliamentary sovereignty. C. It marked the end of the English Civil War. D. It led to the Industrial Revolution. Answer: B. It resulted in the establishment of parliamentary sovereignty. The Glorious Revolution of 1688 to 1689 was significant for establishing parliamentary sovereignty over the monarchy in Britain. Question 9. Name the famous British battle during the Napoleonic Wars. A. Battle of Waterloo, B. Battle of Trafalgar, C. Battle of Agincourt, D. Battle of Hastings. Answer: A. Battle of Waterloo. The Battle of Waterloo in 1815 was a decisive battle during the Napoleonic Wars, marking the final defeat of Napoleon Bonaparte. Question 10. What is the Magna Carta and why is it important? A. A treaty for European peace. B. The royal family's lineage document. C. A charter limiting the king's power and safeguarding rights. D. A declaration of war. Answer: C. A charter limiting the king's power and safeguarding rights. The Magna Carta, signed in 1215, is important as it established the principle that everyone, including the king, was subject to the law. Question 11. Who was the longest-serving Prime Minister of the 20th century? A. Margaret Thatcher. B. Harold Wilson. C. Winston Churchill. D. Tony Blair. Answer: A. Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher was the longest-serving British Prime Minister of the 20th century, holding office from 1979 to 1990. Question 12. What are the key functions of the Home Office? A. Managing healthcare. B. Overseeing domestic security and immigration. C. Economic development. D. Foreign diplomatic missions. Answer: B. Overseeing domestic security and immigration. The key functions of the Home Office include overseeing domestic security, immigration, and policing in the UK. Question 13. Which king signed the Magna Carta? A. Edward I. B. Henry VIII. C. John. D. Richard III. Answer: C. John. King John signed the Magna Carta in 1215 under pressure from rebel barons seeking to limit his powers. Question 14. What are the Crown dependencies? A. Regions within London. B. Independent countries within the UK. C. Territories under the sovereignty of the British Crown. D. Historical sites. Answer: C. Territories under the sovereignty of the British Crown. The Crown dependencies include the Isle of Man, Guernsey and Jersey, which are not part of the UK, but are self-governing possessions of the Crown. Question 15. Describe the process of judicial review in the UK. A. A trial by jury. B. A process to challenge the lawfulness of decisions made by public bodies. C. A parliamentary debate. D. Election of judges. Answer: B. A process to challenge the lawfulness of decisions made by public bodies. Judicial review in the UK is a process where the courts can assess the lawfulness of decisions or actions taken by public bodies. Question 16. Who were the suffragettes and what did they achieve? A. A political party that reformed education. B. Women activists who successfully campaigned for women's right to vote. C. A group advocating for the abolition of the monarchy. D. Scientists pushing for industrial innovation. Answer: B. Women activists who successfully campaigned for women's right to vote. The suffragettes were a movement of women activists who fought and eventually succeeded in securing women's right to vote in the early 20th century. Question 17. What led to the formation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland in 1801? A. The Act of Union 1800. B. The Magna Carta. C. The English Civil War. D. The Glorious Revolution. Answer: A. The Act of Union 1800. The Act of Union 1800 led to the merger of the Kingdom of Great Britain and the Kingdom of Ireland into the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland in 1801. Question 18. What is the purpose of the Commonwealth? A. To establish a new currency system. B. To manage European trade agreements. C. To foster international cooperation and economic support among former British Empire territories. D. To coordinate military alliances. Answer. C. To foster international cooperation and economic support among former British Empire territories. The Commonwealth aims to foster international cooperation and development among its member nations, most of which are former territories of the British Empire. Question 19. Who was the Prime Minister during the Suez Crisis? A. Anthony Eden. B. Harold Macmillan. C. Clement Attlee. D. Winston Churchill. Answer. A. Anthony Eden. Anthony Eden was the British Prime Minister during the Suez Crisis in 1956, which was a pivotal moment in post-war British foreign policy. Question 20. Explain the role of the Lord Chancellor. A. Chief Financial Officer. B. Head of Judicial Duties in the House of Lords. C. The primary spokesperson for the monarchy. D. Commander of the British Armed Forces. Answer. B. Head of Judicial Duties in the House of Lords. The Lord Chancellor plays a significant role in the judicial system, including sitting as a senior judge and presiding over the House of Lords in its judicial capacity until reforms move this role to the President of the Supreme Court. Question 21. What are the qualifications for a peerage in the House of Lords? A. Elected by the public. B. Appointed by the Prime Minister. C. Inherited from family. D. All of the above. Answer. D. All of the above. Peerages in the House of Lords can be inherited, appointed by the Prime Minister, or in rare cases, elected from among hereditary peers. Question 22. What was the impact of the Industrial Revolution on British society? A. Decline in urban populations. B. Increase in agricultural jobs. C. Rapid urbanization and growth of manufacturing. D. Decrease in international trade. Answer. C. Rapid urbanization and growth of manufacturing. The Industrial Revolution led to significant social changes, including rapid urbanization and the growth of manufacturing industries. Question 23. Who was responsible for establishing the National Health Service? A. Winston Churchill. B. Nye Bevan. C. Margaret Thatcher. D. Elizabeth II. Answer. B. Nye Bevan. Nye Bevan was the Minister of Health responsible for the establishment of the National Health Service, NHS, in 1948. Question 24. What rights are protected under the Human Rights Act 1998? A. Right to bear arms. B. Right to a fair trial. C. Right to vote. D. Right to government employment. Answer. B. Right to a fair trial. The Human Rights Act 1998 incorporates the European Convention on Human Rights into UK law, including the right to a fair trial. Question 25. What is the principle of habeas corpus? A. The right to bear arms. B. The right to be free from unlawful detention. C. The right to freedom of speech. D. The right to vote. Answer. B. The right to be free from unlawful detention. Habeas corpus is a legal principle that protects individuals from arbitrary detention without trial. Question 26. Which treaty ended the War of the Spanish Succession? A. Treaty of Versailles. B. Treaty of Utrecht. C. Treaty of Westphalia. D. Treaty of Tordesillas. Answer: B. Treaty of Utrecht. The Treaty of Utrecht in 1713 ended the War of the Spanish Succession. Question 27. What are the reserved powers of the Scottish Parliament? A. Defence and Foreign Affairs. B. Education and Health. C. Transportation and Housing. D. All of the above. Answer: A. Defence and Foreign Affairs. Reserved powers, such as defence and foreign affairs, are retained by the UK Parliament, not devolved to the Scottish Parliament. Question 28. Which monarch began the tradition of the royal Christmas message? A. Queen Victoria. B. King George V. C. Queen Elizabeth II. D. King Edward VII. Answer: B. King George V. King George V began the tradition of the royal Christmas message with a radio broadcast in 1932. Question 29. What is the significance of Hadrian's Wall? A. A defensive fortification built by the Romans. B. A medieval boundary between England and Scotland. C. A monument built during the Tudor era. D. A sculpture from the Renaissance period. Answer: A. A defensive fortification built by the Romans. Hadrian's Wall was built to protect the northern frontier of the Roman province of Britannia from hostile tribes. Question 30. Name a landmark legal reform of the 19th century. A. Abolition of the Corn Laws. B. Introduction of the Factory Acts. C. Both A and B. D. Establishment of the Bank of England. Answer: C. Both A and B. Both the abolition of the Corn Laws and the introduction of the Factory Acts were landmark legal reforms in the 19th century. Question 31. How does one become a Lord Mayor in the City of London? A. Appointment by the Queen. B. Election among the city's aldermen. C. Inheritance. D. Selection by the Prime Minister. Answer: B. Election among the city's aldermen. The Lord Mayor of the City of London is elected annually by the city's aldermen. Question 32. What is the function of the Cabinet in the UK government? A. To advise the Queen. B. To make and enforce laws. C. To decide on government policy. D. All of the above. Answer: D. All of the above. The Cabinet has various functions, including advising the Queen, making and enforcing laws, and deciding on government policy. Question 33. Who was the first Prime Minister of Great Britain? A. Sir Robert Walpole. B. Winston Churchill. C. William Pitt the Younger. D. Benjamin Disraeli. Answer: A. Sir Robert Walpole. Sir Robert Walpole is generally regarded as the first de facto Prime Minister of Great Britain. Question 34. When did women in the UK gain the right to vote? A. 1918. B. 1928. C. 1939. D. 1945. Answer: A. 1918. Women in the UK gained the right to vote in 1918, though initially it was limited to certain categories of women. Question 35. What was the Beveridge Report, and why was it significant? A. A report on agricultural reforms. B. A document outlining the need for social insurance. C. A military strategy during World War II. D. A study on industrial productivity. Answer B. A document outlining the need for social insurance. The Beveridge Report of 1942 was significant for laying the foundations of the modern welfare state in the UK. Question 36. What are the primary responsibilities of the Chancellor of the Exchequer? A. Foreign diplomacy. B. Economic and fiscal policy management. C. Judicial appointments. D. Defence strategy. Answer B. Economic and fiscal policy management. The Chancellor of the Exchequer is primarily responsible for managing the UK's economic and fiscal policy. Question 37. What historical event is commemorated by Bonfire Night? A. The signing of the Magna Carta. B. The Gunpowder Plot of 1605. C. The end of the English Civil War. D. The Battle of Hessietings. Answer B. The Gunpowder Plot of 1605. Bonfire Night, or Guy Fawkes Night, commemorates the foiling of the Gunpowder Plot, when Guy Fawkes and other conspirators attempted to blow up the Houses of Parliament. Question 38. Who drafted the English Bill of Rights? A. Oliver Cromwell. B. James II. C. Members of Parliament. D. William and Mary. Answer C. Members of Parliament. The English Bill of Rights was drafted by Members of Parliament and presented to William and Mary in 1689. Question 39. Describe the British contributions to the discovery of DNA. A. Invention of the microscope. B. Crick and Watson's identification of the double helix structure. C. Discovery of penicillin. D. Invention of the steam engine. Answer B. Crick and Watson's identification of the double helix structure. Francis Crick and James Watson, working in Britain, famously identified the double helix structure of DNA in 1953. Question 40. What is the significance of the Battle of Britain in 1940? A. It marked the end of World War II. B. It was a major naval engagement. C. It was the first major military campaign fought entirely by air forces. D. It involved a significant deployment of British ground forces. Answer C. It was the first major military campaign fought entirely by air forces. The Battle of Britain in 1940 was significant as it marked the first major military campaign to be fought entirely in the air and was crucial in preventing a Nazi invasion of Britain. Question 41. Who are the nonconformists in the context of British history? A. Members of non-Anglican religious groups. B. Political dissidents during the Victorian era. C. Artists of the Romantic period. D. Economic reformers in the 18th century. Answer A. Members of non-Anglican religious groups. Nonconformists refer to members of religious groups that do not conform to the Church of England's doctrines and practices. Question 42. What does the term Whig and Tory refer to? A. Types of British literature. B. Early political parties in Britain. C. Economic policies in the 19th century. D. Military strategies used during the British Empire. Answer B. Early political parties in Britain. Whig and Tory were the names of the two predominant political parties in Britain during the late 17th to early 19th centuries. Question 43. Name the acts that constitute the UK's constitution. A. The Magna Carta, the Bill of Rights and the Act of Union. B. The Acts of Settlement, the Royal Marriages Act and the Statute of Rhuddlan. C. The Acts of Parliament, judicial decisions and conventions. D. All of the above. Answer: D. All of the above. The UK's constitution is uncodified and is made up of various statutes, including the Magna Carta, the Bill of Rights, and the Act of Union, among others. Question 44. Who is known as the Father of the House in Parliament? A. The oldest member of the House of Commons. B. The longest-serving member of the House of Commons. C. The Speaker of the House of Commons. D. The Prime Minister. Answer: B. The longest-serving member of the House of Commons. The Father of the House is a title given to the longest continuously serving member of the House of Commons. Question 45. What is the triple lock system in UK pensions? A. A system ensuring pension rates increase with inflation, wage growth, or 5%, whichever is highest. B. A security system for pension funds. C. A method of calculating pension contributions. D. A legal framework for pension distribution. Answer: A. A system ensuring pension rates increase with inflation, wage growth, or 5%, whichever is highest. The triple lock system is designed to protect UK state pensions from losing real value. Question 46. What role does the Speaker of the House of Commons play? A. Leads government policy debates. B. Acts as the chief financial officer of the government. C. Maintains order during debates, representing the Commons to the monarch and lords. D. Represents the UK in international parliaments. Answer: C. Maintains order during debates, representing the Commons to the monarch and lords. The Speaker's role is crucial in maintaining parliamentary decorum and representing the legislative body in official capacities. Question 47. Name a famous British innovation in the field of computer science. A. The World Wide Web. B. The steam engine. C. The telephone. D. The light bulb. Answer: A. The World Wide Web. Tim Berners-Lee, a British engineer and computer scientist, invented the World Wide Web, revolutionizing global communication. Question 48. What was the outcome of the Jacobite rebellions? A. The establishment of parliamentary democracy. B. The reinforcement of the Hanoverian succession and weakening of the Jacobite cause. C. The division of the United Kingdom. D. The end of the British monarchy. Answer: B. The reinforcement of the Hanoverian succession and weakening of the Jacobite cause. The Jacobite rebellions ultimately failed, securing the Hanoverian dynasty in Britain. Question 49. Who are the Picts and what is their historical significance? A. A Celtic tribe known for resisting Roman invasion. B. A Norse tribe that settled in Scotland. C. Artists during the Renaissance period in England. D. Political reformers in the 19th century. Answer: A. A Celtic tribe known for resisting Roman invasion. The Picts were an ancient group of people who lived in what is now Scotland and are known for their resistance to Roman conquest. Question 50. What role did Britain play in the Treaty of Versailles? A. It was a primary negotiator and signatory, shaping the post-World War I order. B. It observed the negotiations without participating. C. It opposed the treaty. D. It mediated between France and Germany. Answer: A. It was a primary negotiator and signatory, shaping the post-World War I order. Britain played a significant role in the negotiations of the Treaty of Versailles, which ended World War I and reshaped the international boundaries and political landscape. Question 51. What event marked the start of the English Civil War? A. The signing of the Magna Carta. B. King Charles I's attempt to arrest members of Parliament. C. The establishment of the Commonwealth. D. The Battle of Agincourt. Answer. B. King Charles I's attempt to arrest members of Parliament. This event in 1642 marked a significant escalation in the conflict between the monarchy and Parliament, leading to the English Civil War. Question 52. Name the main architect behind the Bank of England's establishment. A. Isaac Newton. B. Adam Smith. C. William Paterson. D. John Locke. Answer. C. William Paterson. William Paterson, a Scottish trader and banker, was instrumental in proposing the idea of the Bank of England, which was established in 1694. Question 53. What was the purpose of the Corn Laws? A. To increase trade tariffs on imported grain. B. To decrease taxes on agricultural products. C. To regulate the prices of dairy products. D. To subsidize the wool industry. Answer. A. To increase trade tariffs on imported grain. The Corn Laws were enacted to protect British agriculture by imposing tariffs on imported grain, leading to significant economic and political controversy. Question 54. How is the Prime Minister elected? A. Direct vote by the public. B. Appointment by the Queen. C. Leader of the majority party in the House of Commons. D. Election within the House of Lords. Answer. C. Leader of the majority party in the House of Commons. The Prime Minister is typically the leader of the political party that can command a majority in the House of Commons. Question 55. What are the implications of the Acts of Union 1707? A. The merging of the English and Scottish Parliaments. B. The independence of Wales. C. The establishment of the Commonwealth. D. The division of Ireland. Answer. A. The merging of the English and Scottish Parliaments. The Acts of Union 1707 united the Parliaments of England and Scotland, creating the Kingdom of Great Britain. Question 56. Explain the role of the Privy Council. A. To provide non-binding legal advice to the monarch. B. To manage the UK's overseas territories. C. To advise the sovereign on the exercise of the royal prerogative. D. To oversee economic policies. Answer. C. To advise the sovereign on the exercise of the royal prerogative. The Privy Council is a body of advisers to the monarch, playing a role in the administration of the government, especially in matters of the royal prerogative. Question 57. Who were the Chartists and what did they advocate? A. A group calling for the end of the monarchy. B. Supporters of the Corn Laws. C. Political reformers who campaigned for universal male suffrage. D. Agricultural reformers. Answer. C. Political reformers who campaigned for universal male suffrage. The Chartists were a significant working-class movement in the 19th century advocating for political reforms, including universal male suffrage. Question 58. What significant change did the Reform Act 1867 bring about? A. It abolished the slave trade. B. It granted voting rights to all men and women over the age of 21. C. It expanded the electoral franchise to more men in urban areas. D. It established the National Health Service. Answer. C. It expanded the electoral franchise to more men in urban areas. The Reform Act 1867 significantly broadened the electoral franchise, making it a milestone in the democratization of Britain. Question 59. What is the royal prerogative? A. The monarch's right to rule without parliamentary consent. B. The powers legally vested in the Crown. C. The right of the House of Lords to veto legislation. D. The legal immunity of the royal family. Answer. B. The powers legally vested in the Crown. The royal prerogative refers to the powers and privileges held by the sovereign, which are exercised by the government on behalf of the Crown. Question 60. Name the British ship that famously sank in 1912. A. HMS Beagle. B. HMS Victory. C. RMS Titanic. D. HMS Endeavour. Answer. C. RMS Titanic. The RMS Titanic, a British passenger liner, famously sank in 1912 after hitting an iceberg during its maiden voyage across the Atlantic. Question 61. Who was the first monarch of the House of Windsor? A. Queen Victoria. B. King George V. C. King Edward VII. D. Queen Elizabeth II. Answer. B. King George V. King George V was the first monarch of the House of Windsor, having changed the family name from the House of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha in 1917. Question 62. What does the Troubles refer to in British history? A. The economic depression of the 1930s. B. The civil unrest and conflict in Northern Ireland late 20th century. C. The struggles during the English Civil War. D. The labour strikes in the 1920s. Answer. B. The civil unrest and conflict in Northern Ireland late 20th century. The Troubles refers to a period of conflict in Northern Ireland that lasted from the late 1960s to the Good Friday Agreement in 1998. Question 63. Who were the main parties involved in the Good Friday Agreement? A. The British and French governments. B. The British government, the Irish government, and political parties in Northern Ireland. C. The United States and the European Union. D. The English and Scottish parliaments. Answer. B. The British government, the Irish government, and political parties in Northern Ireland. These were the main parties involved in the negotiations that led to the Good Friday Agreement, which helped end the conflict in Northern Ireland. Question 64. What is the role of the shadow cabinet? A. To audit government expenditures. B. To perform the same duties as the cabinet in the absence of the ministers. C. To criticise and challenge the policies of the sitting government. D. To govern the opposition parties. Answer. C. To criticise and challenge the policies of the sitting government. The shadow cabinet consists of members from the main opposition party, and its role is to scrutinise the actions of the government and offer an alternative policy direction. Question 65. What is the official residence of the Archbishop of Canterbury? A. Buckingham Palace. B. Lambeth Palace. C. Windsor Castle. D. The Tower of London. Answer. B. Lambeth Palace. Lambeth Palace in London has been the official residence of the Archbishop of Canterbury for centuries. Question 66. Name the treaty that joined England and Scotland in 1707. A. The Treaty of Union. B. The Treaty of Paris. C. The Treaty of Westminster. D. The Treaty of Edinburgh. Answer. A. The Treaty of Union. The Treaty of Union in 1707 led to the political union between England and Scotland, forming the Kingdom of Great Britain. Question 67. Who was the British monarch during the American War of Independence? A. King George III. B. Queen Victoria. C. King Henry VIII. D. King Edward III. Answer: A. King George III. King George III was the monarch during the American War of Independence, which saw the 13 American colonies break away from British rule. Question 68. What is the principle of collective responsibility in the UK government? A. All members of the government must agree publicly with all decisions. B. The Prime Minister is responsible for the decisions of the Cabinet. C. Members of the Cabinet must support all governmental decisions in public. D. The government is responsible to the Parliament only. Answer: C. Members of the Cabinet must support all governmental decisions in public. The principle of collective responsibility means that all Cabinet members must publicly support all decisions made by the Cabinet. Question 69. Which law officially abolished the slave trade in the British Empire? A. The Slavery Abolition Act of 1833. B. The Slave Trade Act of 1807. C. The Emancipation Proclamation. D. The Human Rights Act 1998. Answer: B. The Slave Trade Act of 1807. This act made it illegal to engage in the slave trade throughout the British Empire. Question 70. What event led to the fall of the Berlin Wall and its impact on Britain? A. The end of World War II. B. The dissolution of the Soviet Union. C. The easing of Cold War tensions. D. Britain's exit from the European Economic Community. Answer: C. The easing of Cold War tensions. The fall of the Berlin Wall symbolized the end of the Cold War, which had significant geopolitical implications for Britain and the rest of Europe. Question 71. Name the British scientist who formulated the laws of motion. A. Charles Darwin. B. Isaac Newton. C. Stephen Hawking. D. James Clerk Maxwell. Answer: B. Isaac Newton. Sir Isaac Newton formulated the laws of motion, which are fundamental to the study of physics. Question 72. What is the minimum number of MPs needed for a parliamentary majority? A. 301. B. 326. C. 350. D. 276. Answer: B. 326. To form a majority government in the House of Commons, at least 326 out of 650 seats are needed. Question 73. Who coined the term Iron Curtain during the Cold War? A. Winston Churchill. B. Margaret Thatcher. C. Tony Blair. D. Neville Chamberlain. Answer: A. Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill popularized the term Iron Curtain in his speech in 1946 to describe the division between Western powers and the Soviet-controlled regions. Question 74. What are the main differences between the House of Commons and the House of Lords? A. The Commons is elected while the Lords is not. B. The Commons drafts legislation while the Lords only reviews it. C. The Lords has more power than the Commons. D. The Commons serves for life while Lords do not. Answer: A. The Commons is elected while the Lords is not. The House of Commons members are directly elected by the public, whereas the House of Lords is mostly appointed. Question 75. Who was involved in the Gunpowder Plot of 1605? A. Guy Fawkes and Robert Caseby. B. Oliver Cromwell and Thomas Fairfax. C. William Shakespeare and Christopher Marlowe. D. Henry VIII and Thomas More. Answer A. Guy Fawkes and Robert Catesby. Guy Fawkes and Robert Catesby were the primary figures involved in the Gunpowder Plot to blow up the House of Lords and assassinate King James I. Question 76. What is the function of the monarchy in modern Britain? A. To rule the country. B. To serve as a symbolic figurehead and perform ceremonial duties. C. To make laws. D. To lead the military. Answer B. To serve as a symbolic figurehead and perform ceremonial duties. In modern Britain, the monarchy serves mostly ceremonial roles and acts as a symbol of continuity and national unity. Question 77. What treaty facilitated the formation of the European Union? A. The Treaty of Lisbon. B. The Maastricht Treaty. C. The Treaty of Rome. D. The Treaty of Versailles. Answer B. The Maastricht Treaty. The Maastricht Treaty, signed in 1992, was crucial in establishing the European Union and introducing concepts like the Euro and EU citizenship. Question 78. What is the primary role of the opposition in Parliament? A. To provide alternative policies and hold the government to account. B. To assist the government in drafting legislation. C. To elect the Prime Minister. D. To manage foreign affairs. Answer A. To provide alternative policies and hold the government to account. The main role of the opposition is to question and scrutinize the government's actions and policies, providing an essential balance in the workings of Parliament. Question 79. How did the Victorian era impact British society? A. It led to a decline in industrial growth. B. It was characterized by significant technological and industrial advancements. C. It saw a reduction in the British Empire. D. It focused mainly on agricultural development. Answer B. It was characterized by significant technological and industrial advancements. The Victorian era was a period of significant technological, cultural and industrial growth which transformed British society. Question 80. Name the law that grants the UK government emergency powers. A. The Emergency Powers Act. B. The Civil Contingencies Act. C. The Official Secrets Act. D. The Magna Carta. Answer B. The Civil Contingencies Act. This act provides the legal basis for the government to enact emergency measures and respond to serious threats. Question 81. Who was the Prime Minister at the start of the 21st century? A. Tony Blair. B. Margaret Thatcher. C. David Cameron. D. John Major. Answer A. Tony Blair. Tony Blair was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom at the start of the 21st century, serving from 1997 to 2007. Question 82. What were the main causes of the British Empire's decline? A. Economic difficulties and the rise of nationalism in colonies. B. Military defeats in Europe. C. The abolition of the monarchy. D. Loss of trading routes to Asia. Answer A. Economic difficulties and the rise of nationalism in colonies. The decline of the British Empire was largely due to economic strains and growing nationalist movements within the colonies post-World War II. Question 83. Describe the change in the UK's voting system in the late 20th century. A. Introduction of electronic voting. B. shift from first past the post to proportional representation. C. Implementation of mandatory voting. D. Expansion of the franchise to 16-year-olds. Answer. B. Shift from first past the post to proportional representation for some elections. This change, affecting elections like those for the European Parliament and devolved legislatures, aimed to more fairly represent smaller parties. Question 84. What was Operation Sea Lion? A. The code name for the Allied invasion of Normandy. B. The planned German invasion of Britain during World War II. C. A major British naval operation in the Falklands War. D. The British evacuation operation at Dunkirk. Answer. B. The planned German invasion of Britain during World War II. Operation Sea Lion was Germany's planned invasion of Britain, which was never executed due to their failure to gain air superiority in the Battle of Britain. Question 85. What was the significance of the Battle of Agincourt? A. It was a decisive victory in the 100 Years' War that bolstered English morale. B. It marked the beginning of the English Civil War. C. It was the final battle of the Wars of the Roses. D. It led directly to the establishment of the British Empire. Answer. A. It was a decisive victory in the 100 Years' War that bolstered English morale. The Battle of Agincourt in 1415 was notable for the use of the English longbow, which played a significant role in defeating the French army. Question 86. Who was the UK's longest-serving Home Secretary in the 20th century? A. Winston Churchill. B. Rab Butler. C. James Tudor Aide. D. Charles Clarke. Answer. C. James Tudor Aide. Serving from 1945 to 1951, James Tudor Aide was the longest-serving Home Secretary in the 20th century. Question 87. What is the primary duty of the British Armed Forces? A. To enforce domestic laws. B. To protect the UK and its overseas territories. C. To support the police. D. To engage in political activities. Answer. B. To protect the UK and its overseas territories. The primary duty of the British Armed Forces is to defend the UK, its dependencies and interests, ensuring national security and supporting international peacekeeping efforts. Question 88. How is the British legal system structured? A. Single unified system. B. Separate systems for each of the home nations. C. A federal system. D. No structured system. Answer. B. Separate systems for each of the home nations. England and Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland each have their own distinct legal systems and courts. Question 89. What landmark did the Representation of the People Act 1928 achieve? A. It granted women equal voting rights with men. B. It abolished property requirements for men. C. It lowered the voting age to 18. D. It introduced compulsory voting. Answer. A. It granted women equal voting rights with men. The Representation of the People Act 1928 was a significant step in the fight for gender equality in the UK, granting women over the age of 21 the right to vote, thereby equalising the voting age for both men and women. Question 90. Who is responsible for declaring war in the UK? A. The Prime Minister. B. The Monarch. C. The Parliament. D. The Defence Secretary. Answer. A. The Prime Minister. While technically a royal prerogative exercised by the monarch, In practice, the decision to declare war is made by the Prime Minister and the Cabinet. Question 91. What was the main impact of the Black Death on medieval England? A. It led to significant population decline and social changes. B. It prompted the first laws on public health. C. It initiated the War of the Roses. D. It strengthened the power of the monarchy. Answer. A. It led to significant population decline and social changes. The Black Death dramatically reduced the population, leading to labour shortages, economic upheaval, and a shift in social structures. Question 92. Name the peace treaty that concluded the 100 Years' War. A. Treaty of Paris. B. Treaty of Versailles. C. Treaty of Troyes. D. Treaty of Bretigny. Answer. D. Treaty of Bretigny. The Treaty of Bretigny in 1360 marked a temporary end to hostilities between England and France during the 100 Years' War. Question 93. What was the impact of the Enclosure Acts on British agriculture? A. It consolidated small landholdings into larger farms. B. It decreased agricultural productivity. C. It led to the abandonment of rural areas. D. It resulted in the repeal of the Corn Laws. Answer. A. It consolidated small landholdings into larger farms. The Enclosure Acts allowed for the consolidation of open fields and common lands into individual plots that were more manageable and profitable, fundamentally changing the landscape of British agriculture. Question 94. Name the British philosopher known for his work on empiricism. A. David Hume. B. John Locke. C. Bertrand Russell. D. Thomas Hobbes. Answer. B. John Locke. John Locke was a prominent philosopher known for his contributions to empiricism and his influence on the Enlightenment. Question 95. What is the primary role of the House of Lords today? A. To govern the country. B. To revise and scrutinise legislation. C. To elect the Prime Minister. D. To prosecute criminal cases. Answer. B. To revise and scrutinise legislation. The primary role of the House of Lords is to act as a revising chamber, scrutinising and suggesting amendments to legislation proposed by the House of Commons. Question 96. Who was the Prime Minister during the creation of the welfare state? A. Clement Attlee. B. Harold Macmillan. C. Neville Chamberlain. D. Edward Heath. Answer. A. Clement Attlee. Clement Attlee was the Prime Minister who presided over the creation of the welfare state in the UK, including the establishment of the NHS. Question 97. What does the term backbencher refer to? A. A senior member of Parliament. B. MPs who sit on the back rows in Parliament and are not part of the government or shadow cabinet. C. Former members of the cabinet. D. MPs responsible for financial oversight. Answer. B. MPs who sit on the back rows in Parliament and are not part of the government or shadow cabinet. Backbenchers are typically more junior MPs or those who do not hold ministerial or shadow ministerial roles. Question 98. What major public health crisis did the UK face in the mid-19th century? A. The Great Plague. B. Cholera epidemics. C. Smallpox outbreaks. D. The Spanish flu. Answer. B. Cholera epidemics. The cholera epidemics were a major public health crisis in the UK during the 19th century, leading to widespread death and eventually significant improvements in water and sewage systems. Question 99. Who was the key figure in the abolition of the death penalty for murder in the UK? A. Winston Churchill. B. Sidney Silverman. C. Tony Blair. D. Margaret Thatcher. Answer B. Sidney Silverman. Sidney Silverman was a key figure in the campaign to abolish the death penalty for murder in the UK, which was achieved temporarily in 1965 and made permanent in 1969.